If you've ever experienced a deep connection with someone but it never seems to come together, or you find that the connection hits roadblock after roadblock, then this video is for you. Oftentimes people find themselves in a connection that is something they have never experienced before. The level of affection for a person is so deep that it not only overwhelms you but also is very chaotic. The feeling of euphoria at times and other times very frustrating and painful, especially when trying to move to the next level or chapter in your connection. It seems that one or both of you are in a tug of war when you seemingly feel so deeply for each other. The label for this, in my opinion, is a twin flame connection. The definition of a twin flame is an intense soul connection with someone that is a mirror soul. They are mirrors being held up to us. That mirror will allow you to grow, develop yourself, and pull out traumas and triggers from each other. They experience a deep yearning for each other, and some connections are unrequited, while others are reciprocated. The question is, why do some twin flames fail to come together when they both feel an obvious, passionate, loving connection for one another? The traumas or lessons they have come to this life to experience and learn from have not been completed or worked through and healed. Also, I've come to realize that using astrology, I find that the placement of Chiron can be found to point to the wound. And also, if your twin flame has the same wound, can be difficult for you both if these haven't been worked through before you meet. If you would like to understand more about your Chiron placement to get a better understanding of your own situation, you can look that up online. But today I will be focusing on a client that has a Chiron placement in Aries, as does their person. The Chiron in Aries is a core wound in value and worth. What drives you is a relentless search for a stable and strong identity through your life experiences. This Chiron placement creates conflicting emotions. You may feel you already have an identity, yet you are always judging it as weak. You repeatedly encounter situations in which you are unable to meet your personal needs. Your self-image most likely was shattered as a child, and you weren't heard or acknowledged when it came to your emotional needs. This can really be a destabilizing experience for you and your self-confidence, and as an adult, your ability to achieve what you want is blocked. Especially when it comes to career, as my client's person has Aries Chiron in the 10th house of career, which is about long-term goals, structure, status, public image, masculinity, and the father. Where this house is about what you achieve and your outer world, it can be a sensitive area for you if you have low self-worth, as is the case in this Aries Chiron placement, which will cause problems in your personal relationships, especially romantic long-term connections. You attach your self-worth to the false notion that your need to be a hard worker has to be done in order to be loved. You are at risk of burnout in your job as well as being unsatisfied in your personal life. Oftentimes, being the martyr that you used to keep conflicts at a minimum. You believe that working hard to maintain peace within your family, group, or company is an absolute necessity. A wounded sense of self, coupled with the undervaluing of self, leads to feelings of depression, isolation, and unworthiness, resulting in a sense of confusion about the path forward. These difficult emotions leads you to turn to coping behaviors of self-harm through substance abuse, holding on to toxic or codependent relationships and associations that no longer feel positive or serve your highest good. And on the other side, not able to sustain healthy relationships because you're extremely self-critical of yourself or the other person. As for my client, their Aries Chiron is in their 9th house of higher education, philosophy, religion, and beliefs. So they have self-worth issues in their beliefs and being able to expand their mind when it comes to intellectual or spiritual pursuits. They feel wounded by the belief system they grew up with, driving them to search for meaning and purpose because they have attached their self-worth to a meaningful and supportive philosophy. They grew up where their inner and instinctual nature has been traumatized by being forced to fit the cultural or religious norms of society. They have been wounded by the thoughtless actions and words of others as well. They may also be gifted with abilities that go against the grain of societal stereotypes. They can also have been subject to prejudice because of a disability. So here we have two people going through self-worth wounds, although in a different area of their life. Their sense of self or lack thereof becomes the obstacle that prevents them from being able to connect to each other on a practical and spiritual level. But what's the solution? Well, they both have a profound need to be noticed and heard in relation to their abilities, power, and imagination. From deep within, they can affirm their strength, lovability, and ability to think creatively. It is essential for them to constantly expose themselves to the thought patterns they would like to build. Overall, it's about setting boundaries and learning to parent yourself by first considering requests from others and whether or not you have the energy reserves to help. Will their request affect your inner balance and harmony in some way? Learn to say no and also to ask others first if they would like your advice or help, especially when it comes to family members. As a result of respecting yourself and learning to put your self-care first, you'll start to feel more confident. And speaking to yourself as if you were giving praise to your child will also help increase your self-confidence. The twin flame dynamic is a connection that definitely needs guidance, but knowing your Chiron placement will give you a place to start so that you can both heal and finally come together if that's what you both desire. If you like this video and you'd like to see more about this, like and comment. And if you want to look up your Chiron placement, you can look up online for Chiron placements. For those of you who have an Aries Chiron placement, let me know in the comments what blocks have you experienced in your life that resonate with this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you next time.